Hello everyone. Today I will be teaching you how to solve a Rubik's Cube. There are three types of pieces on a Rubik's Cube. These are corners, which have three colors on them. For example, this one has orange, green, and white. Edges, which have two colors on them. This one has orange and white. And centerpieces, which have one color on them. This is the orange center, this is the green center, and so on. There are 6 sides on the Rubik's Cube. The centers always stay in place relative to each other. So to solve a Rubik's Cube, we have to solve it piece by piece. The beginner method which I will be teaching you is called CFOP, which stands for cross, first 2 layers, OL, and PLL. The beginner version of this method is split into several more steps. The first step is also cross. The second step is first layer, then second layer, orient edges, orient corners, permute corners, then permute edges. Something that might help you to learn how to solve a Rubik's Cube is to learn notation first. Notation is how cubers write algorithms in a way that anyone can understand. So in cubing notation, each side is represented by a letter. The upperface is represented by U. This is down, D for down, R for right, L for left, F for front, and B for back. If the letter is followed by a prime or apostrophe, this means that you turn the face anti-clockwise. So U would be upperface clockwise, this is clockwise, and U prime would be upperface counterclockwise, like this. Similarly with D, if we have clockwise, it would be like this, that's D, and D prime is counterclockwise, like this. The first step of solving a Rubik's Cube is to solve the white cross, which means we want 4 white edges around the white center, all connected to the right centers on the side. You can either do this intuitively, or a method I like to teach my beginners is to solve the yellow daisy first. A daisy is a yellow center surrounded by 4 white edges. This is much easier to solve than a white cross because the sides don't have to necessarily match up. I will now show you a couple examples of how to solve the yellow daisy. So here I have one last edge right here which I want to put here to solve my daisy. How I can do that is simply bring it up like this. Another case you might run into is here where you want to get this white blue edge up there. So how you can do that is move the whole daisy across and then bring it up. A tricky case which you might get when trying to solve the daisy is a flipped edge in its spot. What you can do is bring it down like so, then bring the top across, and now you can simply put it in. Similarly, for a case like this, you can bring the edge up into the middle, bring the top across, and move your edge up to solve your daisy. After you get your daisy, what you want to do is pick an edge in the top. So here I'll pick orange. And what I want to do is try to line up orange with orange. So right now orange is lined up with blue. And I can move the middle across to bring orange here. Now it's lined up. And what you can do when it's lined up is to move the front twice. This will bring the edge down to the bottom and solve it to become part of your white cross. So we can move over and now look, oh, blue is already lined up. Then I can simply drop it down like so. And green is not lined up, so I'll use the bottom to bring it here. And then bring it down. So our last one here is red, and we can use the bottom, bring it across, bring it down. And now we have our white cross. Now our goal is to get the first layer, which is to put all 4 white corners into their respective spots in the first layer. How you do this is pick a white corner in the top layer. So here I will pick red, green, and notice the colors on it. We have red and green, which means we want it between the red and green centers. Right now it's between the blue and red centers. Now if we do this, we can see red and green is between the red and green centers. Now you will learn your first algorithm, which is called the righty move. So I like to remember the righty move as up, left, down, right. Notice the way I do these moves. Instead of using my wrists, I do up with my wrist, then left with my right index finger, and down and right with my left index finger. This makes the algorithm much faster to do. So again, up, left, down, right, and you do it until the corner gets in the spot, which has just happened here. So let's move on to another corner. For example, this one, green, orange, goes between green and orange. And we do up, left, down, right, and it's in. Now this one, blue, red, between blue, red, up, left, down, right. Orange, blue, up, left, down, right. And it's in. And we have our first layer. Sometimes you may have to do the righty move multiple times. If a corner is in its spot, you can just do the righty move on it. So here I have the green orange corner in the green orange spot, incorrectly oriented. So I can do up, left, down, right, up, left, down, right. And it's in. Now we want to solve the second layer, which means putting all the non-yellow edges into their correct spots in the middle. Pick an edge in the top which doesn't have yellow on it. I'll pick this red-green one. Line it up so red lines up with red, like a T, and look where it goes. So does it go here to the left or here to the right? The answer here is red-green goes to the right because it goes between red and green. So we move it away from the spot it goes, do a righty move, rotate to the right, and do a lefty move, which is just a righty move but left-handed. Up, right, down, left. And we get our edge in. Similarly, here for red, blue going to the left, we can move it away, do a lefty move first, come to this side, and then do a righty move. And that gets the edge in. You may run into cases where all edges in the top have yellow on them, or you have flipped edges in their spots. How you can do this is pretend you're putting, say, one of these yellow edges in here, and then you can put this back correctly. Here to solve orange-blue, we would pretend we're putting this one in here, so we can move it away, do a righty move, come over, do a lefty move. Now we have orange, so we can line it up, and then it goes here. So we can do it again. Righty move, lefty move. And we'll do this last one. So I'll pretend I'm putting this into here. So I can move it away, lefty move, righty move. And we have our edge here again. We put it in here. So move it away, lefty move, righty move. And we have our first two layers. The next step is to orient the yellow edges, which means get a yellow cross effectively on the top layer. You may have one of 4 cases for this step. Either no edges, 2 adjacent edges, which means they are next to each other, a line, or a solved yellow cross. No yellow edges, or what we call a dot, can be reduced to all of these cases So I will show you how to do all of them, starting from the dot. You only need one algorithm for this step: front, righty move, and reverse the front. So as you can see there, we reduced our dot to two edges next to each other. What you do for this case is hold them in your back left, and then do the same algorithm again: front, righty move, and front back. Now we've reduced our L, which is two edges next to each other, to a line. So we can do the same algorithm: front, righty move, front back. And now we have our yellow cross. The next step is to orient all our corners, which means make the top all yellow. There is only one algorithm you need for this step. The basic idea is to do it over and over until you get the top all yellow. This comes with experience. I will now show you the algorithm: up, left, down, left, up, double, down. This algorithm is called the Sune, but you can call it whatever you want to help you remember. The goal here is to do the Sune from multiple angles to see what gets you a fish. A fish is when you have one yellow corner correctly oriented and the other three are not. How you can get a fish is basically just experiment. I will show you how to get a fish with a Sune for every case you can have. There are 5 cases you may have for this step other than a fish. There is no need to memorize them, as anyone can remember these with some practice. The first is this case, which we call pi. You hold it from this angle, which means you hold the headlights on the left and these two here, and you do a Sune. Now we get a fish. This is an L case. We do a Sune from here and we get a fish. This is a U case, and we do a Sune from here to get a fish. This is called H. We do a Sune from either here or here and get a fish. This last case is called a T case, where we do a Sune from here and get a fish. Now that you have a fish, you hold it like so, where the correctly oriented corner is in your front left. And from here you do a Sune. Sometimes you have to do it twice, sometimes you only need to do it once. If you need to do it twice, just hold it from the same angle and do another Sune. And you should have your top layer oriented. Now we want to permute our corners. There are 3 possible cases for this step. Either you have 2 corners solved diagonal to each other, 2 corners solved correctly relative to each other with the other 2 swapped, or all your corners are already permuted. The diagonal corner case can be reduced to each of these cases, so I will start with this one. You only need one algorithm for this step. We like to call this the J-perm. The J-perm goes like this. What this does is it switches these 2 corners. So now we've reduced our diagonal corner case to 2 adjacent corners. We can hold them on the left and do the J-perm once again. So now all your corners should be permuted. To learn how to remember the J-perm, I would suggest splitting it into parts. For example, we have the starting bit, which is like up, left, down, and then front prime. Then we have a righty move, and then we come back down, bring the front down, and bring it back. You can find your own way that helps to remember this algorithm. Now on to the final step, which is permuting edges. You can have either an entire block or no block like this. The algorithm which I'll be teaching you is called the perm. If you have no block, you can simply do the perm from anywhere you'd like. And once you have a block, make sure to hold it in the back and then do the perm. Here is the algorithm. Sometimes when you have the block in the back, you only have to do it once. Sometimes you'll have to do it twice. In this case, I have to do it twice, so I'll do it again. Again, the best way to learn this algorithm is to split it into parts that make sense. You can find whatever makes sense and helps you to remember the algorithm. Now that I've shown you everything you need to know to learn how to solve a Rubik's Cube, I will do an example solve. You can either follow along with the scramble, which is in notation, or just watch. Also, it is convention to scramble a Rubik's Cube with white on top and green on front. So our first step is to get a daisy. I can see these two white edges, which can simply be brought up, and this one, which we can bring up there, and our last one is here. If I do this, I can temporarily break this edge, but now I can move this up there, and finally this one up there. And I have my daisy. Orange here is already lined up. I will drop it down like so, and onto green, not lined up, not lined up. Now it's lined up. So bring it down, and then we have blue here, down, and red, down. Now there's our white cross. For the next step, I'll pick this white corner to put in here between blue and red with my righty move. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 righty moves to put that corner in. Now this one, 1, 2, 3, and this one's already in the spot, but it's incorrectly oriented, so I just have to do my righty moves to put it in. And the last one. Now to solve our second layer. So I will pick this edge. It's red and green, which means it goes there. I will move it left away from the spot, do a righty move, come over, and do a lefty move. Now we have this one going here to the left, so we move it right, do a lefty move, come back, righty move. Now this one goes here, so we can move it away, do a righty move, and lefty move. Now this edge is flipped in its spot, so I will pretend I'm putting this edge into here. I will move it away, do a righty move, and a lefty move. Now we can line this edge up with blue, move it away, righty move, lefty move. That's our first two layers. We have an L here, which means we can put it in the back left and do front, righty move, front prime. This gets us a line, so we can do front, righty move, front prime. Now we have a yellow cross. And this is the T case I showed you. So you can do a Sune from here to get a fish. Now we hold the fish like so. Do another Sune. We need to do another one. So we do another Sune. That gets us yellow on top. So now notice these two edges are solved correctly relative to each other. So I can hold them on my left and do the J perm. Now we can line this block up, hold it in the back, and do our U perms to permute the edges. That's one, and that's two. And the cube is solved. I have covered every possible case you can get with this method in this video, so if you're still confused about anything while trying to solve the cube, make sure to replay the video on 0.5 speed to make sure you haven't missed anything. And if you're still not sure, then leave a comment or feel free to ask me questions in person.